And, here's Robin Mokina. He's on the score. Hi, Rob.
Hi, how are you today?
All right.
Okay, now, I told your call screener this is the way back machine, but I don't understand why you gave Trubisky, you signed him, he's a first-round guy, you got to give him $10 or $12 million. You're paying Glennon $14. Jay was due $14. He probably would have stayed one more year, maybe, if he'd have just rode it out. And this isn't a good quarterback draft.
Well, Cutler had a torn labrum.
Right, but if you could, with all that extra money, you could have maybe put a really, really solid line around him. There are a lot of examples I could give of aging quarterbacks who they kept together because he has a
torn labrum in his throwing shoulder.
I think I know, but his arm's so strong.
He has a torn labrum. He retired.
Okay. Yeah. I guess I get your point.
Okay. Good.
All right. Okay. All right. Thanks.
All right. Thanks. Yeah, I'm not sure what that has to do with anything you told the call screener, but that's over. They've moved on from that, and whether or not they properly managed the situation is one thing, but I don't think anything that they did with the quarterbacks has somehow precluded them or prevented them from putting a team together that they want to put together. They still had a ton of money to go out and sign a bunch of veteran free agents. They signed Amukamara, they signed Demps, they were able to get, was it Jay Howard? And, they'll be whatever they're going to be, which is a 6-win team, and they'll fire the head coach and they'll blow everybody out, and then finally Ryan Pace is going to end up with the offensive-minded head coach that he's always sought, and frankly his own head coach, who he didn't have to agree to hire grudgingly or have to grow to learn to want to hire, as it was explained to me, was yes, it was technically, Fox was technically Pace's hire. It was his guy, but it didn't start out as his guy, and he had to take some time to get to the point where he wanted to hire him. So it wasn't an entirely organic process. The 847 texter says Pace is just pandering to the dumb fan base with the blue-collar talk because they're going to be bad. Right, but if you know you're going to be bad, I'm not quite sure what the pandering actually accomplishes at this point, and whether or not that Bear fan is still panderable. It's like, tough blue collar, grind it out. Grind it out teams are annoying because it tends to mean you lose a lot of close games. And that's what John Fox generally likes to do, because he's like, just a couple of plays away, or we were right in it. We had so many opportunities to win. No, if you have an opportunity to win, what matters is whether or not you actually win. Sam and Skokie, you're on the score. Hi, Sam. Hey.
Funny you mentioned that that Ryan Pace is eventually going to hire the offensive-minded head coach pretty soon. Didn't we kind of just have one of those not that long ago, and we only gave him 2 seasons?
He was awful.
He wasn't awful. That's what.
Marc Trestman wasn't awful?
No.
Really? What was good about it? What did he do well?
That was the best offense I've ever seen. The Bears have that first year.
Okay, Sam, we're gonna send you to remedial football college where you'll go away for a while.
We're going to send you to Common Sense Football College, you and the rest of the Bears fans, because you're all
zing. That's a winner there. So we got the Marc Trestman fan club. So first call was they should have kept Cutler. Second call was this idiot saying that Marc Trestman was a good coach. Okay, so you would prefer to have Marc Trestman here right now. Dr. Death.
I think he's about the same as John Fox.
Wait a sec. You just said it was the best. You just said it was the best offense you've ever seen.
That first year, correct?
The best offense you've ever seen. Sam, we'll let you get back to whatever it is you do. Woo! It's Bears season. Wow, it never takes long, does it, to get Bears callers going? If you told me that Bears training camp would open with somebody saying that the logic being that Ryan Pace shouldn't look for an offensive-minded head coach because they just had one who was good in Marc Trestman. Okay. He's back to growing the man. All right. This is the 219 says the next button that you push is going to be bring back John Shoop. Wow. And that's true. He did not, as a texter points out, did not say just good coach. He said best coach. All right. Okay. That's
not a particularly good way to start.
But you know what? Hey, this is there's a celebration going on in the text lines with the Bears Monday that has broken out here. I just wish that we could get to a point where we actually believed in these guys. I like Ryan Pace. I think he's solid enough. But I don't have any real reason to think at this point that he's going to be great at this. I don't know. We haven't seen it yet. And John Fox is supposed to be Mr. Turn the team around, create a football culture. I haven't really seen that either. And they talked about how they're taking steps to keep from being injured. I still think half the team's going to be hurt by January, just because that's what we're used to. In Pilsen, it is Clayton on the score. Hello, Clayton.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, that last caller that y'all laughed off the air, what he was trying to say is that when Trestman was there, I forgot that quarterback name that was working for him, and remember Lovie Smith picked him up just because the way that offense was ran, and the offense looked pretty good. It looked like a decent offense. It just didn't hold because the NFL caught up with it and tore it apart, but it got that quarterback.
What are we
with Lovie Smith.
What are we doing here? Really, Clayton? What are we doing?
About Trestman.
Why are we talking about Marc Trestman?
Oh, because I just heard you guys laughing off the air, and I just wanted to try to back him up a little bit about that.
About what? He was awful and had to be fired because his team was terrible and nobody respected him. Players walked all over him. He had absolutely no authority. It was one of the least powerful, most spineless coaches we've ever seen in any sport here in the city.
But that's the inside stuff the fans did not know.
Yes, they did. They knew all about it. We told you Trestman they ran roughshod over him, and we told you about it every day, every week.
We understand that once he had left.
No. Oh my God! I can't believe we're doing this. We spent hours as it was happening in the locker room. There were no secrets. There was no delay in finding any of it out.
I don't want to disrespect you, but I wasn't listening to the score at that time.
Okay, then you were missing out on everything we were telling you about what exactly was going on as it was going on.
Well,
did these seasons not happen? Did I miss something? Let's get a reboot on this if we can. Thank you. Eli in Bensonville is on the score.
Yeah.
Hi, Eli.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay.
It's great. On that subject of ball players, and it doesn't just relate to football players, but it could be any student athlete. I believe you are actually already a role model for children.
No, it has nothing to do with being a role model. It has to do with whether or not
I understand it.
Well, you don't seem to understand it because you just said it.
You're doing stuff like when they're being convicted of crimes, rape or domestic violence. There's no room for that.
Okay,
women can't.
Yeah, let's try to get this back on the tracks here. It doesn't have to do with being a role model. It has to do with whether or not someone you are. Let me finish. Whether or not you're. Let me finish before you say correct. It has to do with whether or not a university is choosing to endanger the women on its campus.
That is true. And women are fragile.
No, they're
and
not.
These guys
no, women are not.
Fragile.
Women are not fragile.
These athletes are huge.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And they can overpower anybody.
Yeah, not just women.
I know a female who is 12 years old.
Okay, that's. I think we're gonna let Eli go off to wherever he needs to be, because that. What's going on today? It's me, isn't it, Shep?
Yes. What else do you think it is?
Why am I a magnet for this? What do I do? It only happens here. It doesn't happen in like real life. Like when I run into people just on the street and at the store and at the gym, it's just everybody's normal. It's something about phones, or
Right, but most people that you run into don't know you and can't take out their stupidity on you in public.
Yeah, a lot do, but they don't seem to. It's something about phones. We need a study done. We've got to figure this out because I don't know what it is, and let the record show that I see what calls are coming in and they're not trying to do this. I know, Shep, I'm sure people always ask you, do you do that on purpose? Are you selecting these people? And I know for a fact that you're not.
No. It's either that or they call and ask if they won the tickets that we didn't give away yet.
At some point, we are going to give away a pair of Cubs tickets.
And now the phones are going to open up and there's going to be 6 people asking if they won.